wheels and tires are done. They are right over there. Hopefully not run this red light. If I do, everyone will point it out to me. I will get a weight of the V3 wheels. I didn't get those weighed beforehand, obviously, because they had tires on, but it will be nice to see a comparison. I'll put the side by side. So first off, try not to point out the fact that the tires are dirty. If we can just get past that just for a minute. I know someone's dying to put it in the comments. Rear, 255 40 17. This is a 9-inch rim. And to me, that tire fits really nice. It's almost square. Square meaning this is straight. It doesn't roll too bad. It rolls a little bit. Maybe a 265 would look slightly better on there, but that to me, I'm happy with. Front is an 8-inch wide rim, 225 45 17. Now this one to me stretches slightly. It's rolling in. And not that, I'm not saying that you shouldn't do it, I'm just saying I don't really like it. I see this on wheels and it's almost to compensate for the wheel not fitting and the fender being, you know, rubbing the tire, so people tend to put that tire so it rolls in and they tell you, hey, I got a 10-inch wide rim, but my tire is 8 inches. I don't like that. I'm old school. I like the tire to fit the rim perfect. It's not bad. And again, I'm just being extra picky. If this was something I was to do from scratch again, I'd do a 235 on the front, I'd do a 265 on the back, just so it fits the rim the way I think it should. Now saying that, I'm going to put it on the car and put the car down in its position, and we'll find out how close this is. They're saying with this size tire it shouldn't rub. I don't want to roll the fenders. I'm not a big fan of rolling the fenders. I have done it in the past. Let's get these tires cleaned and then I'll show you these again. I'll get some better shots of them in the natural light and then we'll get them put on the car. I will report Carlos did an excellent job at getting the tires off and mounting them. There's no damage, no marks, no scuffs. Absolutely perfect. I have had some issues in the past with shops damaging wheels and even damaging my tires. So these are powder coated. They're not for sale. Don't ask me. I don't want to sell them. These are staying with the car. So front wheel, back wheel, I'm going to go ahead and get a weight just the way they are so we can compare them to the MITA wheels. So front wheel weighs in at 20 pounds 7. So I think that's about a 4-pound saving right there, and it's 1 inch narrower than the other wheels. Rear wheel 22.15. So not much heavier than the front, but definitely heavier than the MITA wheels. Much better. So the wheels and tires are clean now. I'll go ahead and dress them when they're on the car, and then we'll get a good idea what they look like. It's amazing that all that soap still sticks on here. This is another reason that I like to replace the rotor screws. That way when you take the wheels off, you're not worrying about that rotor moving, which it might not be a big deal, but any of this trash, or even if you get rust, if it gets stuck or moves between the rotor and the mating point, this rotor isn't going to be true to the hub, and then when you bolt the wheel on, you're going to have a chance of the wheel being out of balance. So that's just me. I'm a little bit anal, but that's probably what you tune in for, because I'm a little anal. So the set right here, one thing to note, this isn't a key of any nature. It's just a regular 19 6-point, but it's aluminum. The reason it's aluminum is it's now a softer material than the anodizing that is on these lugs right here. The theory is the softer material won't scratch the harder material. So if you was to use a regular steel socket on these, there's a good chance you would scratch them. But if you use the aluminum tool right here, this aluminum socket, there's less of a chance, and your lug nuts will stay nice and black. So the wheel lock right here is actually from the S2000 CR. You can order it from Honda. If you order it for the CR, it comes factory black, and it's a nice finish. It's not just a spray painted finish. It actually holds up pretty well. You can actually see how aggressive that offset is. I'm just hoping they're right. I don't want to roll these fenders. I've had two S2000s I've had to roll fenders on. One I did myself, one I had done by somebody else, and I just don't like it. Mine, I think I actually did a better job than the other guy, because I spent all day doing 4 fenders, and I did it very, very gradual. But just the thought of stretching your fenders and rolling the tabs, that kind of thing, fingers crossed, it's going to work. Moment of truth, let's go down. I'm not going to go too far because we still don't have a front bumper on it, and I don't want all the plastics to be dragging the ground, but I'm going to go over these bumps a few times and settle the suspension, and then I can get some side shots of it and kind of show you what the fitment looks like and make sure it doesn't rub also. So I'm going to go up and down these bumps a few more times, and then I'll get some outside shots.
Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna let it rain tonight. We gonna let it rain tonight.
Alright, so I really like the look. What do you guys think? So, of course, there's going to be a couple of people at the back say, knockoff wheels, China, they suck. But you know what? I really like them. I've had Volks and Mugens and different wheels. And from my opinion, if you like the look of them, they're strong, they don't break. I want to make sure the drivability feels good on this, just light throttle. Listen to that exhaust. That's on the 2.5. You hear the turbo. The turbo has a nice whistle, but it's not too much, and the blow valve is very, very quiet because it is running into the box. So I've gone over these bumps a few times and there is no rubbing at all, so I can vouch for that. With this size tire, there is no rubbing whatsoever. I've gone over these bumps several times now, and we are good. First off, a big thank you to Ticon and Stainless Bros for sponsoring the exhaust on this S2000. All of the titanium that we use in the shop is all supplied by Ticon. We buy this stuff, but fortunate enough to get it sponsored on the S2000. Stainless Bros is their stainless line, Ticon is their titanium line. And both materials is my favorite material. We're a fabrication shop. Whenever you work with better materials, better tools, it makes your job easier, faster, and the outcome is much better. So in their Stainless Bros line right here, the catalytic converter, if you go to this option right here, they've got a few of the G Sport cats available. Now, our dual cat system, was one of these for $202, and we did 2 of them so we could obviously reduce the restriction. When I did a single 3-inch, I found it actually choked the power in the upper end. We had a car that was making 370, was kind of hitting a wall, took the cat off, put the customer's test pipe on just to kind of verify it, picked up almost 30 wheel horsepower. And that was in upper RPM. If it was a lower, like one of the newer Civics that only rev to 7 grand, you might not see quite as the restriction, but it was on an S2000 that's, you know, quite happy revving to, you know, 8,800 RPMs. The dual cat system is basically one of these guys right here. We did 2 side by side to reduce the restriction. My idea was 2 2.5 is going to outflow 1 3-inch. Problem is, you're buying 2 cats, you're using 4 90-degree bends and then build-in merges, and it's kind of a bulky thing. It fit, but it was tight to make it fit. It was kind of heavy, and it's a lot of work. It isn't something I can reproduce. So I decided to go for one of these guys right here. As you see, the rating on these, the high flow is 350 to 500. Now that would be brake horsepower. That's not wheel horsepower. Brake horsepower is typically actually at the engine. And then their ultra flow is 500 to 850. So ongoing testing, I decided to bite the bullet and buy one of these. We're doing this one over here, 3-inch in, 3-inch out with a 4.5-inch body, 500 to 850. As you see, when you go to buy that thing, that makes that more attractive. But if it doesn't work, we might have to be shopping in this section right here. So that is coming. Stay tuned for that. I do plan on doing ongoing testing. The pressure gauge just showed up yesterday, so when we do this, I'm going to test each cat and do a pressure test to see actually what the restriction is before the cat. That will tell us how much air is being backed up before it passes the cat. So that's coming up. That is on order. It'll be here end of the week. Basically got to pull the car back in, build that pipe with a flange on each end to make that fit, make 2 sensor going, and then we're going to compare that to the other 3 options that we have on the car now.
It's 12:20 a.m.
So it's Friday night, 12:20 a.m. I'm here at the shop. Well, first off, my wife went out of town. I have nothing else to do. So when I have nothing else to do, I come to the shop. And I've just been editing the video. This is part 4. So I just want to do a little question and answer. I've had a bunch of different cars. So answer a couple of questions. People go, wow, the C8 didn't last long. Well, the market was about to tank. I do have another car coming, and I don't have that kind of money to lose and play with, so I had the chance to get out of it without losing money. I took the opportunity. Same with the Porsche. I made money on the Porsche. I really, really liked the Porsche, but when it comes to a money standpoint, I don't love it. I don't want to lose money on it, and if there's a chance to make money and make the company healthier, why not? If I can figure out how to have all kinds of different cars go through the shop, not just customer cars, but cars basically, let's say we buy a car for 60 grand, put 10 grand into it and sell it for 70 grand. I didn't really make money, but I had the car for free. And I had never thought I would have the opportunity to own a Porsche GT4 or a brand spanking new NSX right off the showroom floor, multiple Corvettes. But I've done that because I've been very fortunate. I've been able to sell the cars for the same, or most cases more than what I purchased them for. Why are you running the factory airbox? The airbox sucks. Well, no, the airbox doesn't suck. I just proved that it made 400 horsepower with an extra hole in the side. The factory airbox does a fantastic job of keeping the intake air temps cool. It draws air from above the radiator where you got incoming air. It's fantastic design. Adding the extra hole just allows for more airflow, so it doesn't cause a vacuum. The filter that I used in there, it was a 3-inch cone filter. Judging by the numbers, if you go on K&N's website, you can actually type in different numbers and find out what the total horsepower of filter you would need. As long as you stay within those specs, slightly bigger, you're fine. And that cone filter, just the fact that it fits in the box, it's got room all the way around it, and it's a 3-inch inlet. turbo that we chose was a G25 660 on a car mid 500 wheel, but he had a much better manifold. We're running a little tiny manifold with the runners doing this. Typically a heavy breathing cylinder head like the S2000 needs longer runners, and you reduce the pressure in the exhaust manifold. I personally think the S2000 does absolutely terrific with 350 to 400. The car feels fine. Pound for pound, it feels faster than the GT4. The GT4 felt like an S2000 with 300 wheel horsepower, in my opinion. It revved all the way to 8,200 RPMs, but it didn't particularly throw you in the seat and make you excited. Of course, it would probably, before somebody says it, that car would kill the S2000. Yeah, it probably would. On the track, it would probably destroy the S2000. But do I want 130,000 GT4 or do I want 4 S2000s? Let me think about that for. I think the S2000 is a better value. I also think at 400 horsepower, the balance not only is good drivability, you're not at a point where everything's breaking, you're not compromising the fuel system, you're not pushing the envelope. I look at tuning a car like blowing up a balloon. Blowing up a balloon bigger doesn't necessarily mean you're a better tuner. It means you're a braver tuner. Blowing a balloon up 75%, it's a lot more durable. You can squish it, you can bounce it, you can throw it around, you can hit the dog with it, you can play it with your kids, and it's still a balloon. Blow it up with a big impressive balloon, and of course you sneeze or the wind changes and no more balloon. Why would you possibly change the exhaust in the S2000? It's already the best exhaust money can buy. First off, it weighs about as much as me. It restricts it to about 350 horsepower, then it just falls on its face. The titanium exhaust that we built, I wanted it to be whisper quiet, still have a decent sound but be quiet, and then full 3-inch when you step on it with a catalytic converter, and I want it to be clean. I don't like the smell of, you know, the exhaust fumes, and if I have the ability to tune it with a cat, why not? And having that boost option, it's instantaneous. You hit the boost, valve opens, it sounds cool. As soon as you let off the gas, valve closes, back to the quiet exhaust. It took a little bit of tweaking to get it, but the exhaust is absolutely fantastic. I don't believe in buying cheap wheels that break, because for one, it's dangerous, and I'll report back once I've had the wheels for a little bit. If the finish falls off, I'll tell you. If they bend, if they crack, if they suck, I'll tell you. They didn't sponsor the wheels. I contacted them just before Christmas and said, can you guarantee they fit without rubbing? They assured me they would fit, and so far I'm happy with them. I really like them. I think it's just the best wheel on the car. Again, that's my personal opinion. We have some cosmetic things coming to the car. You probably saw the reason the front bumper's off. We have some stuff that's over there that's going on it as soon as the rest of the pieces come in. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you listening to me ramble. Hopefully I make sense. If I don't, tell me below. If I do make sense, if I resonate with you, we're thinking the same. Thanks for watching. See you on the next video. Hey Siri, what time is it?
It's 1:31 a.m.
I should probably go home.